everyone, Rascal here.
And Mama, welcome to our podcast.
Today we're covering the super popular anime, Gurren Lagann, which was recommended to us by Jailbreak Bob.
Yes, and requested.
Yes.
Now, as humans have been driven and lived underground for centuries, Simone and his bro Kamina discover a Gurren robot and use it to fight back the Beastmen who've taken over the surface world.
Yes. And before we start with that, be sure to like, subscribe, and notification bell updates on future podcasts and Walnut Paws videos.
Absolutely. We had heard of this anime, but we never read anything about it. So when we began watching it, we knew absolutely nothing.
Right.
Except for Aiden had said we would see a lot of similarities for Voltron.
Right.
And it wasn't similarities. We love Voltron, but Voltron literally lifted a lot of things from Gurren Lagann, and we're inspired by a lot of things.
Yes. Yes, with the themes, with the giant robot, with the giant robot fight there at the end of the series. Yeah, all of it was started from here. And what's funny is that you can see it instantly. If you watch both shows, you can see it instantly and know which show is which when you see it either here or referenced in Voltron.
Right, and since this was 2008, I think, right?
Yeah, or even sooner.
Yeah, right, 2006, I think.
Yeah.
So it was 10 years before Voltron came out. So, yeah, they were definitely the influence. And he also mentioned that the voice actor for Rukia.
Yes, she's in here voicing a character. We were like, oh my gosh, this is totally different what you usually do.
And of course, Yuri Lowenthal.
Yes.
Simone.
Yes. And Stephanie Shade and was it Hayden Walsh? And they have actually quite a few people in here we knew. And some of them weren't even in anime, but we knew them anyway.
Yes, it was so funny because, of course, you know, she voiced the Starfire on Teen Titans, and she voiced another alien in this anime as well. And we were like, that's Starfire! Oh my god!
Yes, it sure was. Like, oh, she got the same role. So in here, there are 27 episodes. You can count if you want 26, because one of them, in like the halfway point of the series, they do a sort of big recap episode of everything that happened so far, because at some point they do a 7-year time skip.
Right.
And a lot changes in that 7 years, so the break kind of shows you everything that's happened, and then someone's writing out what they're feeling with each scene and stuff. So it's not just someone narrating or a clip show, they're just actually going through everything again.
Right. And it starts off where you learn of the plight of the people that are in the show, how they're underground, they're digging, they're working, and they want to get to the surface.
Yeah.
And so, you know, most of the people that are under there don't believe it's ever going to happen. Simone and Kamina think the opposite, and they end up doing the opposite.
Right.
And they make it above ground.
Right.
And they do it using the Gurren.
Yes.
And these are really impressive machines, even more impressive than Voltron, because Voltron,
it's like one robot.
right, 5 people connecting and so forth. But here, they can make huge robots with only 2 Gurrens.
Yeah.
And they have the drills, and they can do some major damage, and the Gurren are flexible, look like gymnasts, can do all these different
it's
things.
like, oh, they're not really stilted anywhere here. And we see there's other people that have these robots as well, but they don't use it for fighting. They use it for like getting food or something, or excavating land to make room. And then the Beastmen have their own machines, and they use it to make sure the humans stay underground, because they're enjoying having the planet to themselves. They really enjoy it, because every time you come, they try to take them out.
Right.
It's like, yeah, you're enjoying your free time too much.
So the interesting thing about this, and since this anime is over 10 years old, we're going to tell you, if you plan on watching it and you don't want to know anything about it, you might want to come back, because there will be spoilers.
Right.
Because it being over 10 years old, we're going to go ahead and discuss it.
Right.
And the hero in here clearly is Kamina.
Yeah.
And he's got this robust, outgoing personality. He's positive that they're going to win, and he can do anything, and he really has positively influenced Simone, who really just looks up to him as a hero. And then you see that all the people there do as well.
Right.
And you don't ever expect when you're watching these shows for the hero to be taken out.
Yes.
But unfortunately, here Kamina was killed, and we kept thinking, we watched an episode, and we watched another episode, and we thought, oh, well, maybe he didn't die, maybe he's gonna come back. And it looks like when this originally aired, the people were watching were thinking the same thing. And in that recap episode you mentioned, they make sure you completely and totally understand that he's gone and there's not a chance he's coming back.
Right.
And only then do you know, okay, there's not a chance he's going to resurface.
Yeah.
He's
right. And what's strange about it is that despite he got taken out pretty early. At 3? And actually further, like maybe 6 or 7. Yeah, and after that he's taken out of the show, and then Simone has to like really deal with that. He has like depression and everything, and the other ones can't believe he's actually gone. And it's a little strange for them to take out a character this soon in a show out of 27. But then the other weird part is that Kamina made such an impression on viewers that he's still recognized, and he's still one of the most popular characters ever, despite him being taken out really early and only reappearing once in a later episode. When you see, what happened to his spirit, he's still considered one of the best anime characters ever made, despite him being taken out early. So he left that much of an impact on viewers.
And in full disclosure, we started watching this, we were so excited. And when he got taken out, we literally took like a month off before we went back to him, because we were like, oh, he's gone. How can we watch this show?
Right.
They took him out. And then finally we said, okay, we promised Jailbreak Bob we will do it. We have to go back. And we're glad we did. But yeah, I mean, it affected us even though we were late to the game.
Yeah.
And as you mentioned, he's such a positive character. He's such a likable character. You just, it was like, no, we can't watch it.
Yeah.
I remember there was anger. There was shock first. There was shock. There was anger. There was acceptance. There was, I'm not watching this anymore.
This is a 5 stage of acceptance,
Yeah,
I guess,
like,
in a month.
But the good thing is that even after he was taken out, you continue to see character development in the people they would meet, in the ones he started off with, and even before the 7-year jump, you were seeing them becoming a bigger and bigger group of, I guess, rebels who were going to take down the
anti-spirals,
anti-spirals, yeah.
And also another thing to point out is when they do the 7-year time skip, they have this thing where they kind of have 2 villains. One was supposed to be this king of the land, and he wants to keep everybody underground. You find out why he wants to do that later, and at first you find out it wasn't actually selfish at first, but it became like that because he went kind of bananas. And what happens is, they've been underground for centuries, and after they defeat the first villain of the series, they're able to go above ground, do what they want. In 7 years, they're so advanced, there's a gigantic city in the middle of the desert. And then when they do another time skip at the end of the series, it's like it's up to where it's like on Earth now, where humans are just all over the planet again, and there's wildlife and everything. Everything kind of went back to just an advanced technology.
7 years.
Yeah.
What they amassed and what they achieved was unbelievable. We never would have believed they had the ground for hundreds of years.
They built cities, they had laws, they had government, they had officials, committee, they had more robots, they had a gigantic city already.
And they had a gigantic statue of Kamina, just like they did for Allura in Voltron. I mean, you just kept seeing Voltron, you kept seeing like, okay,
oh my goodness.
We got this, we got this. It was a giant statue of him in the middle of the city.
Right, in honor. And you see how the lives are after this 7-year skip, and it looks like everything's pretty much normal now for them until the next villain comes in for the anti-spirals invading Earth.
But what happened to get that catalyzed is that the population couldn't get above 1 million. And the minute that baby was born and hit that million mark, that's when everything went catastrophic.
Right, they immediately invaded and started. It was like, there we go, we can start now.
And
like,
I
you were just
when
sitting
the
there
baby was born, one of them said, surely it can't be that bad. Surely nothing's going to happen.
Right, and then 1 second later, invasion time. It was like, man, you could enjoy this for 5 minutes.
They were not kidding. Over 1 million more comfortable living underground. So
Right.
the 1,000,001 did not include the underground people, just the ones who were above ground.
Right.
And you began to see the government falling apart, not working,
Yeah.
betrayal.
Them not trusting
Simone go from a hero to a villain in the eyes of the government. It was just wow.
Yeah, it was a total change. And then when it gets to the last arc of the series, and they go to fight the anti-spiral, we see this is where the final season of Voltron came in when they get Seration to fight Minerva. And what we pointed out was that, you know, the idea was different how the universe created between Gurren Lagann and Voltron. So what we were kind of sitting and thinking was like, wait, some people who watch the show claim that the way they had them transcending realities and the universe and stuff made absolutely no sense and was stupid. But we see they clearly watched Gurren Lagann, and Gurren Lagann did the exact same thing. The only difference is they had them stuck in their minds for maybe an episode. So they lifted from here, but we were confused. Like, how come Gurren Lagann was able to do this and still be remembered and recognized for it, but when Voltron did it, it was considered a waste of time. We were just so confused. Like, they did the same thing. How was it bad when they did it?
So the ending of this was also something we didn't expect.
Yeah.
I can say that this anime stands out for having a lot of things happen that you just don't expect.
Yes.
Including Dai ending up being a school teacher and
Right.
teaching a bunch of kids.
Right.
And then when she came back to help join the fight, and what they did to her body in 7 years, like, come on, dudes, who did this? Who did this? That's
Right.
not how it works.
Right? I was just like, uh-oh.
But it was unexpected how it ended. That was not the end.
It was a bit bittersweet.
It was definitely bittersweet. They won, but Simone ended up not happy, and Dai ended up not happy, and so many people who were main characters and whom you really liked and whom they were friends and family ended up being killed. And we were like, wow.
And they did quite a bit. So we also see where they got that from for Voltron once again. But the thing was, Voltron killed one character or two. This show killed off near the tens. It was like this character you've been knowing since they came in early on in the series, and all of a sudden, right before the end, taken out, blowing up, blaze of glory, self-sacrifice, and it was just like, what the heck? Why is this all of a sudden in here? At least they only got rid of 2 people. They got rid of almost the whole cast.
Now, to me, when I watched this and I thought about Rogue One, this is what Rogue One should have been. It should have been like this, where it had strong characters, where they were rebels and fought the battle, and where some of them survived and were not all killed off.
Right.
And I don't know, this is what I thought of when I was watching this. This is what Rogue One should have been. This is the movie that Star Wars fans deserve in the guise of an anime.
Yeah.
And it's a very memorable anime. From what we understand, this is it. There can't be a reboot. There can't be a continuation, because they showed you how their lives were going, how they'd gotten very old. And again, Simone was alone.
Yeah.
He was by himself, and
he just kind of basically sucked it up and took the good out of it.
Literally, we forgot to mention, Nia was responsible for activating everything that went on, because she'd been programmed, and she made it out because he went and saved her. But just like on Samurai Jack, when they got married during the wedding, she just disappeared into nothingness. He married her, and then that was his wife for life. He just stayed alone. And it was sad for that ending. It was sad for Dai's ending. She stayed alone because Kamina kissed her and told her, you know, I love you, and blah, blah, blah. And he got killed off. And forgive us, the other character.
He's got the blonde hair.
Yeah, who was really a great character, and we're sorry we don't remember his name. Please forgive us. You can tell us in the comments. He did the same thing, professes love. I like to meet your kids, and blah, blah, blah. And then he gets killed off.
Yeah,
so she lost 2 loves of her life, so she stayed alone. And there's so many, as we've mentioned, they got taken out, so there's no happy ending for them. And
yeah, it's definitely bittersweet.
It's a bittersweet type of anime because it was well written, character development, action, just so much unexpected things. It inspired a whole nother anime that rebooted. Voltron is absolutely, positively no way you can say that this did not influence Voltron and they did not borrow from here. But the ending was very sad. The beginning was sad with Kamina, and the ending was sad with so many characters being gone and the main characters just not even being happy.
Yeah, and you don't really expect that in a lot of shows, and that might be part of why it's become so popular or long-standing with fans. I mean, it has a lot of great things about it, but a lot of people seem to be really into having reality in animation, and if a character experiences loss or comfort in, even though there's despair stuff or some bad things happen to them, people want to see that happen so it makes them look more human. So for the most part, it looks like this worked out in their favor. They didn't hate the show. They didn't like how things did the outcome, but they appreciated for them that they made it feel like it was real for them. So in a way, even though you don't like how they did it, somehow they still got respect for writing something like that.
It's not so much that I didn't like how it ended. I would have preferred a different ending.
Right.
I would have preferred them at least having some happiness later on and not being alone. And of course, Kamina not dying.
Right.
But then if that hadn't happened, then the rest of the story could have progressed.
So it's one of the few times where the death of a character had to happen or for a story to happen, because if not, then it would have been a whole other show altogether.
Right. It's a great anime. We're so grateful for the recommendation. Thank you, Joe McBob. And if you've seen Gurren Lagann, let us know what you think in the comments below. Did you see it originally? Is it one of your favorite anime? Do you have characters that really resonate with you? Let us know. If you haven't seen it, it's on Netflix. Yay!
Yes.
Available to watch in its entirety. Give it a watch. Come back. Let us know what you think in the comments. We promise you, despite what we're telling you, how the ending was and the things that really caught us off guard, it is a top tier anime. It's excellent.
Right.
Absolutely excellent. With some wonderful voice actors that we all know and love. So.
Right. So, be sure to like, subscribe, and pull notifications for updates on future podcasts and little pod videos. And thank you so much to our Possum family for watching.
Yes, we love you. And thank you for the recommendations. And thank you for the requests for podcasts. We really look forward to doing them for you. Give us more, give us more, give us more.
Yes. So, thank you so much for watching. I'm Rascal Entertainment.
And I'm Mama Entertainment.
Have a toontastic day.
Peace.